Caitlin Clark's impact fades amid ongoing decline in girls' basketball participation. By Josh Funk, Associated Press. Omaha, Nebraska, AP. A significant drop in girls' basketball participation has forced one of Nebraska's largest high schools to cancel its varsity team for the year. The decision by Grand Island Senior High School, which stands as the state's third largest with over 2,600 students, exemplifies a national trend in the declining numbers of participants in girls' sports. This occurs even as the popularity surrounding figures like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has surged, drawing impressive crowds to arenas and increasing TV viewership. Similar choices have been made by schools across the nation, yet this does little to ease the heartache felt by those who are deeply passionate about the future of basketball in Grand Island. We've seen the train coming. I mean, we've been sitting on the tracks forever. But frankly, people just didn't want to do the heavy lifting that was required, lamented Jeremy Jensen, a former Grand Island mayor and high school soccer coach, highlighting the need for a long-term vision to establish a robust girls' basketball program. What's happening in Grand Island? The school, located in a primarily blue-collar city of 52,000 residents approximately 120 miles, 190 kilometers, west of Omaha, made the tough choice to cancel both its varsity and junior varsity teams this season due to a lack of juniors or seniors showing interest in the sport. After facing several lopsided defeats and with many young athletes opting to specialize in a single sport, the school opted to focus on nurturing younger players instead of fielding a team predominantly made up of freshmen and sophomores. While this decision was shocking amidst a burgeoning interest in college and professional women's basketball, driven significantly by the tremendous success of WNBA star Caitlin Clark, who dazzled records at the University of Iowa, experts in the field express that increased viewership doesn't always translate to increased participation. Kansas State University women's basketball coach Jeff Mittie articulated this sentiment. Certainly in college, all of our games are on TV, easy for people to find, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're playing the sport. It just means they're interested in watching it. Participation decline. Since Clark's birth 22 years ago, there has been nearly a 20% reduction in girls' high school basketball participation. The sport has fallen from being the most popular to fourth place, overshadowed by volleyball, soccer, and track and field, all of which have seen remarkable increases in participation according to the National Federation of State High School Associations. Interestingly, while basketball numbers dwindle, total participation in high school sports has grown, with more than 3.4 million girls engaged in high school athletics last year. Impact of losses. Jim Ward, a Grand Island resident, witnessed firsthand how losses affect participation. He observed every player on his oldest daughter's middle school team abandon basketball upon reaching high school, preferring sports like volleyball and wrestling, or simply losing interest due to a stream of heavy defeats. Over recent years, the high school girls team has faced devastating losses, missing out on victories more often than not. The team recorded 43 defeats out of its last 44 varsity games and has not achieved more than 3 wins in a season since 2016-17, with its last winning season dating back to 2009-10. If you're Grand Island facing formidable opponents from Omaha, who boast athletes destined for Division I scholarships, it becomes increasingly difficult to sustain motivation when the scoreboard reflects an overwhelming gulf in talent, Ward noted, asking rhetorically, "Would you want to play longer?" Kelly Jeffries, who led Grand Island to its only state championship in 1979 and amassed 231 wins in 33 years as head coach before stepping down in 2012, recognizes that success is achievable in Grand Island but understands the prevailing challenges. When you're not really able to compete and be competitive, you can see why kids don't want to do it anymore. That's not fun for everyone, for coaches and players and anyone involved, Jeffries remarked. Cost of competition. The struggles faced in Grand Island and beyond are multifaceted, extending well beyond the court. In some communities, girls encounter challenges in finding avenues to develop their skills from a young age. Many families are unable to invest the significant time and financial resources needed for club basketball, setting younger athletes back in their development. As competitive pressures mount earlier in age, any girl cut from a grade school team might decide to abandon basketball altogether. Families in Grand Island aiming for their children to excel in club sports often find themselves driving up to 2 hours twice a week to Lincoln or Omaha for practices, only to return for tournaments during weekends. Can the sport recover? Current coach Catherine Langre seeks to change the narrative by working with middle schoolers and conducting free basketball clinics at the elementary schools throughout the city to establish a robust pipeline of talent for the sport. However, rebuilding remains a formidable challenge, particularly given the prevalent trend of kids specializing in single sports amidst increasing competition. It kind of speaks to the world that we're living in with club sports and specialization of sports, where kids want to participate or are only able to participate in one activity, remarked John Dolliver, who oversees basketball at the Nebraska School Activities Association. Volleyball, in particular, has flourished, increasing visibility on television and social platforms, making the U.S. a powerhouse in the sport. This trend resonates significantly in Nebraska, where both Creighton University and the University of Nebraska-Lincoln compete in the collegiate top 10 rankings. Last year, a world record was set as 92,003 spectators filled the Memorial Stadium in Lincoln for a volleyball match, a historic attendance for a women's sporting event. Brandon Traught shared that his daughter, who excelled at basketball in middle school and grew up alongside her brother Isaac, now a player for Creighton, decided to pursue her love for volleyball at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas instead. I think girls just naturally, especially in Nebraska, gravitate towards volleyball. Volleyball is just very, very good in this state, he expressed. While the rising profiles of players like Clark may inspire a new generation of athletes, parents like Ward remain skeptical. He can envision an 8-year-old passionately declaring her wish to play basketball, only to hear her parents insist she must prioritize volleyball and dance due to their commitments. The Caitlin Clark phenomenon, it's difficult to predict if this will prompt a third grader to switch from volleyball to basketball. I honestly don't know, Ward concluded.